Hi guys, welcome back to August Love Story, the channel. My name is Artieka.
And today I'm going to go by Tommy.
What is wrong with you?
Nothing.
Today we are reviewing Married at First Sight, the last two episodes that are 4 and 5, which are titled Wedding Bliss or Miss, and then A Beach of a Honeymoon. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel and turn on your notification bells. Whew.
So
Who you write the least about?
Carla and Juan.
Mm-hmm. Carla and Juan. What she call him? Juanito?
I don't know what she called.
I think it's Juanito or Juanito.
I don't know. I don't know. You see me rhyming there.
So, last episode 4, one of the things that stuck out was Carla told Juan that money is energy. Actually, how does she say it? Money is energy.
So that's a note of mine that I took as well.
That was the first thing I wrote about them.
Me too. And then the next thing I wrote about them was I didn't even know they was in the episode.
Okay, so
that in episode 4, that's where they met the parents and talked to the parents and then went on to
I was about to
get there.
Package this as I had to technically watch that episode twice because I got the Friendly app because we don't have Lifetime. And for some reason, the Friendly app captures 1 hour of an episode. And when you watching it, you'll be like, oh, this everything that happened? Thinking that it's just playing through. And then what happened for me. It
gives you the highlights?
That's what it feels like. So Tommy was watching episode 4 the morning that we were supposed to record. And when I came downstairs, I was like, I didn't see that part.
Yeah.
I didn't see this part either. So that's why I had to go back and watch the episode. And I missed like a good 30 minutes.
I was like, I didn't see this part because I went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, it was just
keep the party going.
Cut out.
I think I fell asleep on episode 5 too.
You probably did. So during their meet the parents situation, Juan's dad asked Carla, what does she do for a living? And she like rattled off all of her things, one of which was a hairdresser. And he was like, oh, you like it? Like he couldn't believe that somebody, that's how it felt to me.
That somebody would let her do their hair?
No, that somebody would enjoy being a hairdresser.
Yeah.
That's how he said it to me.
I think that's terrible to say about somebody, but
no, I'm saying like that's how his response came across. I can't say that was how he was responding, but that's how his response came across.
Yeah.
During that conversation, I realized that they were not aligned because she was telling his family, or he was telling her family that he wants her to work and he's not really interested in her staying at home. And she was like, I'm trying to be home and have these babies. What we doing? And one of the things that they have really like, and that was the beginning conversation, was money. They're not very aligned on money. He said it's not true rich people food unless it has capers on it. I remember that.
This in episode 5.
That was in episode 5. But they went back in episode 5 to something that was said in episode 4 about her buying a juice every day.
Yeah.
And he was like, so you juice at home? And she was like, no, I go out and buy the juice. And he was like, what's that, like $7 or $8? She was like, uh-huh. And she was like, I'm not going to tell him that it's really like $13 or $14. So he is going to have a small panic attack if they make it, well, not if, when they make it to the point of sharing finances, because regardless, unless you bow out of the process, you're going to make it to talking about money.
Yeah.
But he also revealed a little bit about why he is the way he is with money. I mean, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with saying I'm not buying a $12 juice every day. That's expensive. But
I would just buy a juicer and learn how to make the stuff that I like.
Yeah, I mean, they be putting what it is on the thing. You be like, oh, a carrot mango juice? I like more mango than carrot. Add a little bit more mango than I do carrot.
But that's me, though.
But I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having some type of allergic reaction this morning. But with the money situation, he was saying that he has his full-time job and then he's has his money plus investors' monies into his tech company. And he was like, I got to be lean on my side pretty much. And I'm like, that makes sense. And she's not thinking about what's next.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I'm here in the moment. Money is energy. If I don't have it, it'll come to me.
I don't know, man. I really don't think they're going to make it out just because of how extreme, because of money, one thing, but how extreme she is on things.
I got to find my notes where I wrote our predictions.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote them out somewhere.
It's in the video.
Yeah, but I wrote them out somewhere.
But, you know, it bothered me when she was like, money is energy. No, money is a tool. It is like a wrench, a screwdriver, a saw. Money is a tool. But to be responsible, I think that's the issue that Juan is looking at, is that she's not being very responsible. Or it doesn't sound like she's being responsible. And she was like, I do take care of like my bills. Nobody wants to come into a situation thinking that, oh, I got to automatically start taking care of her like she's a housewife. Not in this situation, not in this economy, not in this, you know, space of time.
And not in this type of experiment.
Right. It's like you want to bring more than just good looks and vagina to the table.
I'm sorry, I missed it because I coughed. You said you want to do what?
You got to bring more than good looks and vagina to the table, especially in this situation. Just because they don't know each other's financial situation. They don't know each other. And then if the first thing or my first impressions of you are you're irresponsible, you're not really good with money, and you're looking for me to take care of you with my money, I don't want to do that. You know,
especially because she has the tool sets, because she's, I think, a Pilates instructor and she is a hairdresser. I'm not saying that she has like lots of money rolling in, but she has earning potential to be able to get up every day and make some money.
Right. And so with that, it's like, yeah, you have good qualities about yourself, and, you know, they were matched for a reason because they get along well. Like, I think as far as like, if they take money out of the situation and just talk to each other, I think they have great conversations with each other, really learn about each other, and kind of like very, very open with each other on things. You know, it was funny seeing them getting a massage and him saying, I want to look, but I don't want to look because I don't want to be, you know, tempted, you know, because he's trying to take his time. And I've told people before, like, hey, if you want to see where this truly goes, don't have sex. And he's trying to not do that. But it's hard. She's a beautiful woman, you know, but, you know, that conversation there is going to be a pitfall for them, I think, only because she's so one way and he's so the other way.
Yeah.
And it's not a thing of he chose her, but she was chosen for him and he was chosen for her. And this is the first impression.
Yeah. The only other notes that I had was about them flipping their canoe. They went out on a water date, which that's something that everybody did. And on their date on the water, they were in a canoe.
Except David and
Madison. Well, no, they did. In the next episode.
In the next episode, yeah. On day whatever. Yeah. Last day they was there.
With them doing their date on the water, being in the canoe, like it flipped over, and I don't know how the canoe flips over and Carla don't get wet.
I don't know.
One was like, I'm soaked. Carla's like yeah.
She's dry.
I'm like, I'm cool.
I'm like, what did you do, man? Did you hop on the top of it?
Like, I wish I could have seen it from like a different angle.
I thought they were like in some trouble because they showed the producers like, do you see them? Mm-hmm. You know, looking for them and stuff. And I was like,
the producers were caring about their equipment.
Yeah, they were.
I got a camera. I got mics.
Yep.
All this stuff getting wet. Bring it back.
The camera probably was fine. The mics, I would think, would be in some trouble. But I would think they would have some type of protection for that stuff because they're in water.
I don't know. That's what the camera crew was worried about, though.
Yeah.
The investment.
I mean, like, that's a real, you know.
I'm not saying
concern.
It's not.
4K camera?
Because it seems like where they were canoeing was not deep.
Yeah.
So
it probably wouldn't. It had to be deep enough. Anyway, go ahead.
Last thing was when they were on they were in the transit van going out on their, what did they take? A catamaran boat ride? Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
When they were going to their catamaran boat ride, Carla spent a lot of time talking about magic sticks.
And giving your magic away.
And everybody was like, where is Juan?
Taking notes.
Because Juan was at the back and Carla was at the front. And I think they did that to make, and no, it couldn't have been because I think they were sitting beside each other. I was about to say, I think they did that to make David and his wife not have to sit.
No, they probably did that so they could sit next to each other. Mm-hmm. So it wouldn't be awkward, I guess. I don't know.
Anywho, that's all I have for the two of them. Who you want to go to next?
Don't matter.
Next, I'm just scrolling the other way. Madison and Allen. That's who I actually wrote the least about.
Oh yeah.
Madison and Allen is obviously more into Madison than she is into him. But she is, I was pausing because I was thinking, but she isn't on the unwilling to try side of things.
Yeah.
Like, he's not an ick to her as of yet. I mean, obviously things can change. Mm-hmm. But he's not what she would have gone for because, as her friends told him, she's into pretty boys. And Allen doesn't fit the pretty boy build.
Yeah.
We did learn that he spends a lot of time telling a story and you still can't find the point to it.
Yeah.
Like why he was wearing those green sunglasses when they were on their water date.
He's a horrible storyteller.
Yeah.
They got classes for that. I actually was looking up a class to figure out how can I tell stories, like be a better storyteller in like film and in just telling a story.
Yeah. The only other thing that I wrote down about them was that Madison talked to David about Michelle, and she also shared a little bit about her relationship with him. Mm-hmm. But David, the only advice I felt like David gave her was, it's not as bad as ours. Just keep going.
Yeah. Madison, I think it was, when she sat down and talked to his mom, she was like, just love him. Because the big thing, because his friends even said this, that he is kind. Mm-hmm. You know, and I hate when they bring that idea that a person being kind is a pushover type of person, because that was brought up in episode 5. She was like, I don't want to say you're a pushover, but I want you to look out for yourself, essentially. And I was like, because a person is nice, because a person is kind, doesn't mean he's a pushover.
I need to use his age for this. 35. At 35 big years of age, if he has gotten as far as he has in whatever he does for a living, because I don't know what he does for a living, he has to have some capacity to be able to stand up for himself.
Yeah.
You're just not gonna come in with your 29 years and act like you all know.
Well, the thing is it's like from episode 4, he was like, I trying not to walk on eggshells or something like that. He said, but it's like when you know a person is not attracted to you, but you have to be in this thing with this person to see if this worked. Like for some reason, you guys were matched up. This person is not initially attracted to you. You're going to pull back a little bit to try to figure out, okay, what is it? Because I'm attracted to you. That girl is a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
She's a little built, but, that's because she worked on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're starting to look at and notice, okay, this is different from me. I'm not her type. What do I have to do to become her type? But I'm gonna still be myself because at 35, you're not changing.
Yeah, I think that's why he's leaning into the like dad joke kind of realm.
And that's probably him.
It's like make her laugh. You can get her if you make her laugh.
Man,
you always say that.
That's my thing, man.
But we don't know if that's gonna work because there are some people, and we're gonna get to one in a little bit, that are just so stuck on this isn't going to work that they won't try to make it work.
Right.
And I'm not saying that this should work. It's just, if you're going to go through all of this,
right,
I think that you should at least give it an effort.
Yeah, because it's like the first thing, okay, you're not the usual person that I talk to. All right, cool. We can get past that. Get to know me better. But you tell a person that the first thing they're going to do is sit back and try to figure out, well, what presentation can I give to move past the attraction part? Because that's the first thing people that are not a part of this experiment that are married was attracted to their person for something. And
everything isn't always physical attraction.
Right.
There are a lot of cases where people were friends for years.
Yeah.
And it was like, all right.
Right. Right. But it's like now you looking at it as a fresh thing. It's like, I just met this person. This person tells me they're not attracted to me. Now what do I do? Can I say this? Can I do that? Because they had a conversation about I want you to be comfortable with me touching you. It's like I've never had a conversation about somebody being comfortable with me touching them, but like I ain't touching them in a negative way. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like just holding your hand or
In this household, I have conversations about touching me all the time. But it's always stop touching me. Like, why y'all laying on me?
Man, but it's like, man, you look at that situation and you're like, well, what else is he supposed to do? How is he how do you want him to approach this situation with you telling him that you're not attracted? Because if he says that I'm not attracted to you, the show is over. You know what I'm saying?
I can't believe he said that.
Yeah. I'm going to pack my bags and I'm out of here because it's not worth it at that point.
Yeah.
But you say that to him, he has to figure out, okay, well, how can we make this thing? What can I do? What do I need to do? For you to see what the experts saw. But that's the hard part about that. And now it's a thing, it's a running thing. Oh, I don't want you to be a pushover. I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do that.
It's kind of like that one season, what's the Oubre brothers' name? Ryan.
Yeah.
And whatever his wife's name was.
Yeah.
How they said that they actually did have sex with each other, but it was like so easy to keep that running conversation going as their issue. This is what she's gonna use as her issue for the duration of their time together, unless they decide to work.
Man, to really, like, and I'm done after I say this, because like, just to think about what you said, to really keep that going, like because she, like, I remember that season, that girl, I was like, man, that girl really wants some. Like, she is needing it. Mm-hmm. And he ain't giving it to her, but the fact that they actually did it and she kept that going, I was like, man.
This is dumb.
Yeah, it's so stupid. But anyway.
Camille and Thomas.
That's my couple
going back
right
to episode 4, Camille's sister told him that she hopes that Camille is able to be vulnerable with Thomas. And her dad was basically just talking about their intentions of this marriage. And I was like, stop talking about the intentions, because the intent was to get married. Camille and Thomas did sit down and have a conversation about their timelines for things, because Thomas is 42. Cannot remember exactly how old Camille is because I don't have it in these notes.
I think they're 10 years apart.
Okay.
I think she's early 30s. So.
Okay.
Am I late 30s or mid 30s?
You're late 30s.
Dang, that happened fast.
I was like, how old are we? Yeah, you're.
I told 30s. Somebody the other day I was 38. I was like, nah, I'm not 38 yet.
I'm on the cusp.
Right there. I'm right there.
They was trying to figure out how their timelines will align. His brother is, of course, married, and his brother and him wanted to have kids around the same time. Yeah. His brother has a daughter that's in her 20s. And he was like, well, that didn't happen. Yeah. But maybe with his wife, we'll be able to have kids together. And so their timeline for having kids kind of seemed to have matched up with each other.
For the amount of time that they wanted it. Well, I think it was like 2 years. She was like, yeah, that's reasonable.
That my notes don't make sense. There's like extra words in this sentence.
The funny part, while you figure out your notes,
I can't.
The funny part about that scene with him talking to her was I fell asleep, and this is around the time I woke up, and they were talking about something as if he's a different person. He's not Thomas, and I'm like woke up and I'm like, why is he talking to her like he not him? Like I was straight confused. I was like, that's the twin, that's the brother.
I didn't write but 2 sentences down for the actual episode 5, which is when they went out to dinner and they talked about their future date nights, and then they shared a little bit of information on when he found out that he was adopted.
Yeah.
And then she talked about her parents' separation and divorce and how that impacted her. So they were getting down to like some personal things. Yeah.
But I think for me, when I was watching that scene about him talking about the adoption and how it made him feel and stuff like that, I think that's the way you're supposed to do it. Like, because you saw them enjoying each other, laughing. He got off the boat and skipped.
He did.
So we having a good time.
They also had that one isolated scene where he was like, I always had a dream that I would be like romantically kissing someone on the water in the rain. And then like they went in for a pic.
She was like, you want me to kiss you? Yes, I would like that. But it's man, to see like that's the way you do it, especially on the honeymoon. Let's enjoy this. Mm-hmm. We're here. I don't know if they've been there before or hadn't been there before, but let's enjoy this moment. We have time where we can sit down, we can talk about serious things. Now, their conversations are going to have to get a lot more serious, and I'm pretty sure it will eventually, but for the episodes that we saw, 4 and 5, it just seems like they're just truly enjoying each other. They're both beautiful people. Mm-hmm. So
that's why you want them to work so bad.
Why? Because I think they're beautiful.
You're like, they pretty.
Nah, I think I want all the couples to actually work because, like, in my mind, this experiment should work if you do what you're asked to do. Because it's not hard to get along with people, especially if you're a good-hearted person. But it's the human error in us that makes it where, like, things don't work out, you know? But I truly do want all the couples to be authentic. And I feel like they're giving us their most authentic selves right now, you know? But yeah, man, it was it's kind of relieving, or I feel relief that they're here because you know they're gonna have some type of drama, and they're not gonna be, you know, 100% perfect and everything, but you're allowed to see happiness on TV. You know, you have your drama in the show and everything like that, but you don't feel the bottom's about to fall out. Yeah. At any moment, you know?
Like we do with David and Michelle.
No, it's just, like, I feel that way with MM and Ikechi.
Good. Well, that's what we're going to do. All right. So back to episode 4, we found out that he doesn't eat meat at all. She eats all the animal because she was talking about eating chitlins and everything.
I said, yuck.
Right. He tells her family about his previous engagement and him sabotaging it. His family told her that he was social media famous and asked how she felt about that. I was like, after this is done, everybody's going to be social media famous.
Good or bad, you're going to have some type of following.
Yeah. And then they told her that he was looking for a unicorn. And her family, I think it was her cousin, asked him if he was basically saying that he thought he was doing Married at First Sight as an opportunity and not for marriage.
It looks that way.
And then they agreed to disagree about the unicorn comment. I think that was to her.
What?
Not to her cousin, about the doing Married at First Sight as an opportunity.
I don't know who, like, I remember it, but it looks that way because of him moving to do it.
Yeah, because he tried to do it in Dallas and then get picked. And he's like, all right, they going to Chicago. I'm going to Chicago. Yeah. I'll be here for a good time, not a long time.
But I don't know, man. I was looking at this episode 5 and I was like, man, it's just something about dude. Like, he seems like a good guy, you know, especially when he was talking about, he's very passionate about helping kids. You know,
when he was like, I'm gonna cry, he was looking for her to tear up and he was trying to evoke emotion and she was like, nah, I ain't got it.
Right. I was like, she was like, my family didn't do all that lovey-dovey stuff.
I don't even think it has to be a family doing lovey-dovey stuff. There's just some people that it just don't hit like that.
He definitely said, man, if that don't get you going. I was like, bro, like you.
I'm like, it doesn't get me going either. So
like, I feel that you're very passionate about this and I can appreciate that.
I can appreciate your passion, however, and comma.
That's your passion.
Right. I don't care. You believe the children are the future. I know that they technically are.
Right.
But I'm trying to keep them alive. You do everything else.
Teach them. But no, it's something about him that I'm like, why does this feel fishy? You know? Why does it feel like you're only saying the right things, but not truly meaning it?
Yeah, you're not going to do the right thing.
Like, your representative is far from what your true thought, and it's just a feeling. It ain't nothing he said. It ain't nothing he did. It's just like, I don't know.
I feel you.
You know, you get that
if
feeling.
Don't nobody else feel you in this moment, I feel.
Yeah, it's just something I can't put my finger on.
So they did talk about both being engaged in college, and both of their engagements ended due to infidelities. I was like, well, I hope that we have grown from said cheating. But then he said he hasn't been in a serious relationship since then. I'm like, I hope he not like a Derrick Jackson type on the internet. Telling you what you need to do and then not living that life.
Yeah.
I never heard of the guy.
I don't know who he is.
So,
but I wouldn't be his target audience either.
Well, I mean,
I don't think.
Even with like Derrick Jackson, I wasn't his target audience, but I had heard of him. That's what I'm saying.
I had never heard of this guy.
People pop up in my realm all the time, and I'd be like, "Oh, okay, swipe away from that." Mm-hmm. So they did end up having a very serious conversation about him. I think he said he was living in Atlanta at that time with his dad.
He was between Atlanta and Houston.
And he and his dad got into it, and his dad kicked him out, and he was talking about going to stay with some friends that he had made that were in college, and they basically took care of him until his mom found out that he wasn't at home with his dad anymore. His mom was like, come on back home. Yeah. And that struck in me and made me think that's probably why he considers himself an only child. Because remember, he was like, I'm an only child, and then he was like, my brother. And I was like, bro, you're not an only child, then. You got a brother.
You got siblings, brother.
I think that he has tried to like do away with his dad's side of things mentally. Mm-hmm. And so he's like, at my mama's house where I was happy, it was just me. Yeah. And at my daddy's house, I
don't know, man. I don't know.
Because people do compartmentalize things like that and give the narrative that fits what they're trying to do.
Man, the biggest thing, two biggest things that stood out to me about them so far on this last episode was they left their food outside because it started raining.
I was like
they were surprised that it started raining. Like, you went out there, it wasn't raining. It starts to rain. Taking my food in.
Because we have been in this position, not in the rain position, but we on a honeymoon have sat outside to eat and then decided to go in. Ours was because of mosquitoes. Yeah. But we picked up them plates. Right. And brought them on in. Right. Because I'm going to continue eating this food. I am hungry.
We can have our conversation inside or out.
And it's like the conversation switched from the food, and then they ended up having champagne. And I was like, but I still wanted that pancake that was out there.
Bacon? Who leaves bacon or fruit? Come on now.
And I'm not bothered by my fruit getting rained on a little bit.
Right. But the biggest thing was she was taken aback when he told her he called her the homie.
Yes. He was like, do you want to be the homie or do you want to be the op? She was like, those are my only two options. I'm your wife. I was like, why are we getting caught up in the fact that I am saying to someone else, things are going well? Yeah. Because that's
essentially all he said.
Things are going well. We get each other. It's not romantic yet. And I get that you're my wife, but every successful relationship that I know of agrees that we were friends first. Yeah. It did not immediately start as we together.
Because I personally, I don't believe it can work with all the nuances and the nooks and crannies of a relationship, of a marriage. It can't work if your foundation is not friendship.
That's one of those things that I'm happy I got to have that conversation with your grandmother before she passed away. When your granddad died, me and her sat down and talked about the fact that she truly enjoyed being with him. Yeah. And not just like being his wife, but like the proximity of space, spending time with him. And it's like, If all you can hear from that is he consider me a friend, girl, you lost.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not looking at the bigger picture because I mean, like, think about it when you get into an argument with a person. Your friendship is what brings you back together and say, hey man, let's go hang out. This is who I hang out with. You know? So it's that bond, that friendship there that keeps you like good. It's like when you have a friend that you ain't talked to in 10 years, y'all finally pick up like nothing happened. Like that 10 years didn't even matter.
Yeah. All I gotta do is catch you up on like the big stuff. Had a baby.
Yeah. Had another baby.
You remember Tommy?
Yeah.
We married.
Right.
Like things like that. But, and even now with social media, people be knowing that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it is what it is. I just thought that
people be like, I watch a little YouTube channel.
Okay, Nee. Before we get to the last couple, the guys got together and did a mezcal tasting. The ladies got together and did Pilates with Carla being their instructor.
Yeah.
MM said something to Michelle that I really appreciated was neither one of you guys is the bad guy. And like Michelle heard you're not the bad guy, meaning herself. And MM kept saying louder, and he's not either. Because Michelle is really trying to forge David being the bad guy when her inability to get over things is the issue.
Yeah.
And nothing has been big that she needs to get over.
Yeah.
Like I could see if I take that back. There's one big thing that she would need to get over, or he's going to have to change. But that hasn't even been a conversation. That's him smoking.
Yeah. Like I would be more upset about this dude smoking. Like, can you quit?
And you do it casually.
Can you
or
just
socially,
not do it?
Just stop.
Right.
Okay. So to David and Michelle. David mentioned to her that his work schedule could be keeping them from getting to know each other because he works 2 jobs. And he was like, I got 2 jobs and a wife. I got to keep my schedule open to figure out things. And they were talking about when they would see each other. At that point, I felt like she may have been genuinely concerned about them getting to know each other. But then you just took it 10 more minutes later in the episode. And I was like, she don't care. She's just looking for
an exit.
She's looking for her exit and the way to make herself a victim.
She says she don't like it when men wear flip-flops.
And she told that to his mom. And I was like, flip-flops? Like, the thong sandals, or you mean like athletic slides? Because I feel like both of those are considered flip-flops to somebody.
Yeah.
His mom told her that, he was independent. You don't have to worry about him living in their home. It is his own apartment. And I've been screaming at the TV since she had her little breakdown in the bathroom. Babe, you don't have to move into this house with them.
She's like, the thing is, and I get it, it's a concern for you to hear, I have my own place, but you stay at home. But I don't think that's something, the way she's been harping on it, I don't think that's something you do or you have to do.
She's harping on it like they told her she has to move in and spend the last of her days there as well.
Right.
And I'm like, baby, y'all get an apartment to complete this experiment. On top of having that apartment to complete this experiment, you could live in the apartment that y'all get to complete the experiment, because I heard that they help them find somewhere to live after everything is done.
Because the thing I thought about when that first was brought up, I was like, but what if the house is big? Like, what if it's a 20 room?
Like that house we passed by on the way to swim?
Yeah, 20 rooms, 12 bathrooms, upstairs, basement, house on the property and he stays in that house that's on the property?
What if it's like your cousin's house, where his daughter and grandson live in a house?
That's what I'm saying.
That just literally, it doesn't even go into the house. The roof's attached at a car porch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's like one of those things where it's like nobody is asking you to live there. You don't like him, and this is your exit is, okay, found something to harp on, house. Got it. Her family told him that patience is going to be key for him, and they also told him that she's going to be stuck on him living at home and that he may be too pushy for her. And I was like, I'm missing something in particular about David, because like he has a big presence, right?
Yeah.
And like his laugh is loud, his speech is like when he's talking to you, but I don't get pushy from that. I just get loud.
I get he's doing well. You saw it a lot in episode 5, but his personality, he's trying to be himself, but also respect her in a manner of, I want you to be comfortable around me, because you can feel when a person is not like in it. You know, and it's hard to deal with that, because now you're picking straws to say, okay, can I say this? Can I say that? Can I do this? Can I do that? To make her comfortable, because I'm comfortable with where I'm at. In my skin, I'm comfortable in whatever situation. But for her, I want her to be good. And if she's not good, then I can't be 100% comfortable, because now she's my wife. You know, it's a thing of, that's my person, and I have to make sure my person is good. Otherwise, we're not good.
Right.
You know, type of deal.
David asked her about her being overwhelmed, and she admitted that she cried at the reception. He was like, what?
Did I miss that?
When he met up with Madison, who is Allen's wife, they went to the gym. And I'm like, production put that together. And the reason I say that is because when Madison got back to the room and was talking to Allen, he was like, did you meet up with anybody while you were down there? And I was like, who asked that as a question?
Nobody.
To somebody saying, I'm going to go work out.
Absolutely
I'm going to go work out.
Right. Anybody else down there?
David did tell Madison, and he ended up telling Michelle as well, that he was engaged and he had his ex-girlfriend's name tattooed on his chest. He showed that to her, and she was like, why would anyone want a name tattooed on them? And I'm like, girl, just say you don't want a tattoo of anything.
Yeah.
Like, don't act like this doesn't happen. I wouldn't do it, but don't act like this doesn't happen.
Right.
And you don't know anybody that's ever had a name tattooed on them.
Like, everybody we know, everybody in the world knows somebody with a tattoo. You may not know. Or
even a tattoo of an ex's or a current person's name.
You may not know that this person has a tattoo.
But they got one. Yeah.
Right there at that moment, it was very hard for me to comfortably watch the show or watch them, just because you saw a man who was grasping for straws. And the woman in that situation was like, I'm frustrated, and did not tell you why. And you see that he's like trying to, like, what is it? What more do you want from me? And she was not telling him that. And she was like, I'm just getting more angry and upset. What are you getting mad for?
She was getting mad because he wasn't going to let her just shut down. And I guess that could be when he became pushy.
Yeah.
But he wasn't going to just let her shut down about that. So she called somebody at home, and they talked about the living situation again. And I was like, baby girl, you don't have to live there. Right. Like, what are we missing? Like, I think about that with, remember Woody lived with his grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Would he and Imani still make it if Imani was harping on?
Absolutely not.
He lived with his grandma. I think if they got down to it and was like, we need to sell our house, grandma would be like, come on, bring them babies on.
Right. No, but it's like, man, you look at that whole situation and you're seeing him going, racking his brain on what can I do? What can I do? Mm-hmm. I told her about this. She said she don't care. And she made me feel stupid. Like, that's the thing that you don't want from a partner.
And I'll have to preface this by saying, let me go back. I don't want to live at home. I don't want us to have to live with either one of our parents.
Right.
But she's acting as if this is going to force her into some dungeon.
Well, she's acting as if, and she said something about it in the episode. She's acting as if, I don't know what success looks like to him, but she's acting as if he is just a bum. Mm-hmm. And they gonna put her with a bum.
She actually said that directly to him. She said that she thinks they want different things in life, but she doesn't know for certain. And I'm like, you've never asked him.
Like, and that's the thing that was bothering me about her is you're frustrated in all these things, and you're not even trying to have a conversation with him.
All of your frustrations are in your head because you don't, unless we missing something, you don't know enough to be this frustrated.
Right.
About anything.
You're battling a thing of, I'm not initially attracted to him, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. You're not initially attracted to the fact that he lives at home, and that's okay. You're not even trying to understand why he lives at home, because the reason he's told you why is because he sold his condo. Mm-hmm. Because I think he said he was losing money on it or something like that. He said he sold his condo and moved in with his parents. Mm-hmm. Because what would you do? Why get a apartment when you can just move in with you? It's just you. Mm-hmm. In a situation. But that's a choice that he made. He gets married. All right, man, let's move out. I got this much money saved up. Unless he said, well, I don't have no money saved up. I'm just living here. Then that's a different conversation. But have that conversation. Be interested in getting to know this dude, because technically you're married to him. Mm-hmm. You on a vacation to Mexico, and you're sitting up there mad because he lives at home with his parents that you don't have to move into. Mm-hmm. You have your own place and everything. So it's like, enjoy the vacation. Enjoy the time that you have, because you only got this time.
I'm just going to be completely honest. A free trip to Mexico, a free trip anywhere, unless it's to the pits of hell.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you going to do that's going to make me not enjoy this trip.
We going to go. When we get back, we're going to have some conversation. But right now, let's just go. He asked her to go to the pool with him. She said, no. Do you want to go on a walk? No. Like,
and I think that the walk was just to try to lighten the mood.
I'm pretty sure it was, but dang. And she said, I just need some time. She wanted the rest of the day.
I want to know who these people have been around that are married. They'd be like, I get to be, especially not parents, I get to be upset and angry for the rest of the day.
Right.
And nobody can say anything to me. You just go away. And ain't no way I would have slept on that couch.
Nah.
Roll your upset self over.
Right. Because I'm finna sleep in the bed.
My back can't take this couch.
My back ain't taking this couch.
And my 37-year-old back don't take couches.
Man, but it's like, I feel bad for David, because David is at a point where he doesn't know what to do. Mm-hmm. And it's not his fault. It's literally her and her mind. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's weird to see, So, but they look like she started crying at the end when they was on the boat, and the producer was like, do you remember why you got married? She like, no. I was like, yeah, you need to get on off this show.
How you just gonna be like, I went through however many weeks of interviews and questionnaires and filled out all this stuff to get picked. And I don't even know what I wrote down anymore because I hate him so much. Like, what happened when they were sitting at that table and he got pissed off at her. And she was like, I have to find my tears.
Right.
Oh my God.
The way her eyes was moving, it was like, Lord Jesus, she don't got nothing for him.
I don't know what to do here.
You know what to do.
Anywho.
I was gonna say something.
I was like, that's all I got. I'm done.
That man Thomas skipped when they got off the boat.
You gonna let him be happy. You gonna let him be happy.
That was so funny to me. David looking like, man, David looked like he need a cigarette.
He did. And I bet you he ain't packed none.
On the boat.
He ain't packed none. And they wouldn't let him smoke on that catamaran boat. He's out in the open.
I need a square. That's what he was saying.
God, I need a cigarette.
Man.
I just want somebody to tell me, like, did I miss something with Michelle?
I don't know, man.
Because I think that
now I want to watch the after party because you were saying somebody like she was wilding out on the after party.
Yeah, I heard that she was acting crazy. I'm gonna go watch after party when I go to work.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and watch it with you because I don't have to work.
All right. Well, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Turn on the notification bell.
It?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I gotta go to work. Comment down below and let us know, are we missing something with Michelle? Because the only thing that I know for certain that she's harping on is the living at home situation. And it doesn't seem as if she's had a conversation about anything pertaining to him living at home other than he live at home.
Yeah.
And his mama and his daddy going for it because he said he was helping them on their mortgage. And I'm like, yeah, you can live out. You get how much?
Come on now.
How much? This cheaper for everybody.
His daddy ain't with that smoking stuff though.
Nah, his daddy not. Anywho.
He need to cut that on out.
This is actually going to go out today because you're going to edit, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow for
this is actually going.
I'm gonna stop lying to the people because I lied to them last time.
You big lied last time,
and was like, I lied on the community tab, not in the video.
Yeah, you sure did.
All right, I'm done. Bye, y'all.
Peace.